Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Eric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Summer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
This episode is brought to you by Seven's Boutique, an online shop created by 2 sisters, Angie and Jess, who believe you should walk boldly, dress divinely, and know your significance. At Seven's, you'll find easygoing pieces that are cozy, classy, and made to mix and match. Think relaxed pants, cozy sweaters, and lifestyle sets you'll want to live in. Every item is handpicked with purpose, so you can shop confidently, dress comfortably, and walk boldly. Inventory is small and curated, so if you see something you love, don't wait. Visit sevensboutique.com and use the code PODCAST10 for 10% off your first order. www.sevensboutique.com. Walk boldly, dress divinely, know your significance.
Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. A belated Merry Christmas to you and your family as we prepare for the new year. Glad to be with you yet again. It's been a up and down roller coaster, just like it always is. Oh, I was going to point out, Angie, one of the Christmas gifts she gave me was this, like Christmas Vacation Jelly of the Month Club, a non-alcoholic beer of the month club. So NA Beers, this is an athletic frozen hop IPA. So it comes in a box with like 2 beers of each kind. So there's like 8 beers total in there, I think.
10.
Well, okay, there was 10, but 5 different kinds.
And it's pretty tasty.
She actually did enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Very creative little gift.
Cheers to surviving another Christmas.
Yeah, for sure.
Christmas number 4.
That was a hard, weird thing I mentioned the other night. Like for me and my kids, and really for our entire crew, we now are spending a 4th Christmas without Hallie when we only had 3 Christmases together, the 8 of us.
Yeah, it's more Christmases without Hallie for you guys than with Hallie, it is a weird thing. And at some point we'll hit that number for all of us of, can't even think about that. But the holidays, as we shared, are always hard. I know what I'm getting into every time. But the Sunday before Christmas, I don't know what happened to me. I was fine. I was fine when I woke up. And then we go to church, and church was good. But I left church, and I was so freaking mad. So mad. Like, I couldn't even, process it. Because I was definitely thinking, what the hell was wrong with me? Like, I'm so mad. And then whenever I get mad, I am just I'm going to do stuff. I'm just going to knock out a bunch of stuff. And I came home, I'm making something to eat. And then I'm thinking about all the Christmas stuff that I have to do. And I think the irritation was that I have to go through another Christmas without Hallie. And I get sick of it. I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. I'm so mad that I have to do this. I have to still fight through Christmas without Hallie. And I had all this stuff. I was dragging my feet this year. I just felt like I was not ready for Christmas. Somebody said it's because Thanksgiving was late this year. So you kind of lost a whole week, but I was behind. I felt like I had all this stuff to do. And I was just so irritated that I wasn't even enjoying Christmas because it was this dread. And so I finished making food. And then I'm like, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And Eric's like, what?
Yeah, because she doesn't go to the grocery store. Not her thing at all.
You're going to go to the grocery store. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store.
And I could tell she was in a mood at that point. It had come on. We got up, went to church, and I was like, everything's fine. Then we weren't, and then it wasn't. And I was like, okay, she's going to the grocery store.
And then I said, I'm going to go to Walmart. And he's like, okay, wow, you're going to Walmart. I'm like, yep, bye. I'm out. And I get to Walmart and I sit in my car and freaking bawl my eyes out. Bawl my eyes out.
You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah. And I mean, I sat there probably for 15, 20 minutes, just like, you got to be effing kidding me. And feeling sorry for myself, honestly. Like, why? Why do I have to go through this? So irritating. And so then I go into Walmart, get a bunch of stuff, which is double irritating because it was like $550
It was a
to get
lot.
all this food. Like, there's this reel that's about it's this lady going to the grocery store and she's buying a charcuterie board. And I sent it to you. And
Oh, yeah.
And she's freaking out as he's scanning everything. Because honestly, charcuterie boards are
Not
ridiculous.
Cheap. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so then I get home and I mean, I'm just struggling. I'm putting everything away. And then I have a new grieving mom that reached out to me. And it's like, I know, God, I know that's what you want me to do, is to be there for other people, for other moms, because it's like bringing water back to those that are in the fire after you've gone through it. But then I'm also like, could there not have been something else that you wanted me to do? Anyway, my evening turned into purpose, which I think that's the only way that you can get through this, is you take the, why did this happen to me? And you turn it into, what am I going to do with it? What purpose am I going to find? And that is literally this vicious cycle. Why? And then what? Why did this happen to me? What? And when you get closer to the what more often, I feel like that gets a shorter time cycle of the why, then immediately pivoting to the what. The other thing I think that is hard that we've shared too is that there's no new memories. I find nothing new out about Hallie or a new picture. Rarely does that happen. It's like you've already discovered everything by the time you're going into year 4. And after we had went to the barn and honored Hallie in November, Summer had mentioned that she wanted to ride. And so after the feel sorry for myself Sunday, and then my purpose appeared again, Summer and I had a riding lesson that Monday afternoon.
I think, though, this was, God's always in charge, right? That lesson was supposed to be on Friday. It got pushed to Monday. And so it got pushed to a time when I think you really needed that lesson.
Yeah, and the weather was nicer, it was beautiful. And so we're driving out there, and it always makes me feel heavy, but also feel like joy. And Summer wanted it to be a lesson for both of us, like we would do it together. But on my drive out there, I text the trainer. I'm like, listen, I want this just to be about Summer. Like I want it to all be focused in on her. And it was beautiful. I mean, it's funny. It's funny because Summer is hilarious. And she is definitely a city girl. But
she has some hillbilly to her from time to time. When she was little, we would call her hillbilly bougie because she could be a little bit country, but then she's very bougie where she likes all the nice things.
So we get out and she's going to put on Hallie's boots. And she's like, oh, hell no, these things are ugly. And I'm like, just put them on. But you have to wear boots with spurs for Phoenix. So she puts them on, and then we're walking to the barn, and she's like, this ain't for me. But I think there's some uneasiness to it too, because it's been forever since she was on a horse. And I get nervous about it too, because it just doesn't come natural for us. And we get to the barn, and I get Phoenix out, and as we get into the actual barn where we're going to ride, you could tell Summer was starting to recall things. And that was probably the beautiful part, is as a mom to see her sort of reconnect to what she did a lot as a child with Hallie. Hallie would take him to the barn all the time. The barn was right by our house, and they'd go help her feed. And they were around horses all the time because of Hallie. But then when Hallie went to college, the horse barn she was at didn't allow kids, just from a liability perspective. And so probably for 6 or 7 years, they weren't really around horses. So there's a big gap. But I could see Summer start almost remembering and reconnecting. And it was such a beautiful thing, painful, but beautiful. And she's just like a damn natural on the horse and sits up straight. And the one thing I wanted to share.
Made me want to sit up straight right now. It was beautiful when Angie would send me videos because I just started watching something like she looks like she's been on a horse all of her life. It was so beautiful.
But then she's riding and she starts sharing stuff. And the trainer made a comment about how she was sitting up so straight on the horse. And she's like, well, yeah, I mean, when I would ride with Hallie, she'd chew me out if I would slouch. And she would say, pretend like you have a cup of water on each one of your shoulders and don't spill the water. And it just made my heart smile because I did not know that. And that was like, oh my gosh, there was a new memory shared that I didn't know. So it went so well. And Summer was like, oh my God, that was so fun. And they went fast. And that was her favorite part. Why my kids are adrenaline rush kids, I don't know. But she wants to ride again. And that's all that I wanted was just for her to connect because that's the one thing that we have that's Hallie.
I think that as we move into 2026, I think for all of us, at least, well, by all of us, I mean Angie, myself, and Summer for sure, we want to spend more time with Phoenix because we know that the more time we spend there, the closer we feel to Hallie. And so don't want to speak for everyone, but I think that that's a real thing for us.
And also, apparently, 2026 is the year of the horse. So I've had
crazy.
Oddly, like I don't follow the Chinese astrology, but I've had several people say, 2025 was the year of the snake, but 2026 is the year of the horse. I don't even know like what that means. And so, of course, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. If you're not using it, it'll help you out a lot.
Yeah. In Chinese astrology, the horse represents freedom and forward movement that's not rushed, but really purposeful. And it's kind of like this inner strength of stamina that's built over time. And it's no sudden force. You're learning to trust on your own rhythm. And it's grace under motion. So power that doesn't need to be loud. The horse always moves when it feels it's time. It's not a reckless speed. It's more about like endurance and knowing how to carry weight without breaking. And I just think that is such a 2026 description for me. And so I think 2026 will be an interesting year. Our next podcast episode is.
Why are we laughing?
Because we spent the weekend in KC this weekend together just to get away. Because if we don't get away, we sit around here and work our asses off all the time.
We've been home for 4 hours and we have done nothing but work until this podcast technically isn't even work, but we got home and we just started taking down all the Christmas and then getting rid of things that we felt like we didn't need anymore and kind of cleaning some things out of storage and then laundry and all the things. So
yeah,
that's why we were like, okay, yeah, it's going to cost a little money, but let's get away. And that's what we did. And we were very excited about it.
So our next podcast is going to be about our 2026 goals because they are not aligned. And that's a whole other episode. So
they're not aligned, but it's okay.
It's okay. Yes. But it is a funny dialogue, I feel like, for 2026.
Because I was like, wait, I need to double check where you're doing this, but I'm thinking I'm going to do this. And my wife says that's great. So, and not in a bad way. Okay. I know people think, oh, this couple's doing two separate goals. They're drifting apart. I think it actually is probably good and that it's actually probably.
Is it? You're concerned. Okay. It's another episode.
Okay. I think it's probably good. Go ahead.
Yes, it's good. So we got through Christmas. So on Sunday was a really, really hard day. Monday we had the horse lesson, and then Tuesday was spent like doing all this prep work. I made so much food actually on Monday and Tuesday for the different Christmases that we had. And it was just like, stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. Wednesday was Christmas Eve, which meant we went to my mom's for lunch, and then we left there, came back to Columbia, went to church, and then we had our cruise Christmas, which is a lot of work because the kids want to play games. We do a I planned out 7 different games. If you guys want to know what games I planned out, message me because I've had several people already ask and I have it all written out. So I'm happy to share. The games were a hit this year.
Yeah, really fun.
And then Eric puts together a Kahoot, which is like 25 questions that they play on their phone, and whoever gets it right gets money and a lottery ticket. And then I also put together our 2025 year in review, which is like capturing all of the memories that we made together in 2025, it was 12 minutes long of all these pictures.
You can see that on our Blended Blessed Always a Mess YouTube page. It is posted there if you'd like to watch it.
So it's a lot of prep work, but we open gifts and we eat. They do a gift exchange, which last year we did where they, had to buy, they bought something for someone to wear while we're opening gifts. This year, I totally switched it and I made it be very, very intentional. And whoever's name they drew, they had to write them a letter of what they loved about them, what they appreciated about them, and they need to get them a thoughtful gift. And, we had to keep reminding a couple of kids, like, you got to put some thought into this. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, can't I just text them? No, you have to write it down. You have to write the words down on a piece of paper because that's way more personable and meaningful when you take time to write it down.
Didn't we have one kid that's like, this is the dumbest idea you've ever had?
I'm like, listen, you are going to have to write your wife a letter one day and you're going to have to communicate things to your kids. This is good practice. You will thank me one day.
I think they all really enjoyed it when it was done. Yeah. When they were opening the gift from the other sibling and they read the kind words, I think they really enjoyed that. But yes, getting them to do it initially was a bit of a pull them along sort of thing. So, and all in all, I think everybody had a good Christmas. In our world of having so many kids, typically you have one child that's disappointed with the way their Christmas goes. And I didn't feel like we had that. It felt like everyone was ecstatic with the gifts and happy with how it went. So that always makes things better than when you have one sulking. Part of that, too, is that they're getting older. And so that's helpful when Dane's the youngest at 15. But yeah, all in all, once we got to Christmas, we worked so hard for a couple of days leading up to it.
I'm
sure many of you did as well. I'm sure that you're like, save us the sob story. I worked really hard on Christmas too, but just saying.
Well, and I would just say I highly recommend games and the interactiveness because it keeps the kids off their phones and also like making memories together because we had a lot of laughs for sure. A lot of laughs, but it went till 11:30 probably at least.
Yeah.
And then everybody, went their separate ways the next day for Christmas Day. And then I tanked again and didn't get off the couch till noon probably. And then the weather was beautiful. So we went for a walk, which was good.
She did tank. So I went for a 3-mile walk in the morning just to let her tank. And then we went together in the afternoon. And then after that, we just kind of...
What did we do after that?
We just laid in bed. Again, you crashed out early and watched some of the Taylor Swift.
Bath.
You took a bath?
I took a bath.
I took some of the Taylor Swift era stuff. We watched together and we were in bed early. I mean...
Yeah.
We're figuring out a rhythm of Angie just being, and we'll talk more about that next week. And so when that happens, I go and I do. And that allows her to be while I go do, which makes me feel more productive and accomplished so that I'm, it's just where.
So that when we're in Kansas City, you can get compliments from guys about then Friday we left. Friday we left and went to Kansas City, which, we normally go to Florida, but then the house was rented. So we were like, okay, we're going to have to like go somewhere. Let's just go do something for like 1 or 2 nights. And Kansas City, I love Kansas City. There's so much to do there and great restaurants and all of that. So we went to dinner Friday night at 1587.
Yeah, which was 1587 Prime, the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce restaurant. It was fire.
It was really good. Great, like ambiance. Food was great. It was amazing. So, and then Saturday we got up and went to brunch and we went and shopped Plaza a little bit and got massages.
Took a 3-mile walk. We took a 3-mile walk because the weather was nice.
How was your massage?
Was awful. It was the worst massage I've ever had. It was the most painful thing. I came out, I was mad. Like she saw it. She goes, how's your massage? She's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm angry. Like I told the guy, I was like, I've never had a massage like that. And in it, sometimes he asked before we started, how do you want the pressure? And I was like, he was like soft, medium, hard. I was like, medium would be probably great. And if we need to increase it, we can. And it was the most painful massage of my life. And to the point where I was grabbing the table and constantly be like, F, like really cussing. Oh God. And then I almost passed out once, the pain hurts. And he kept being like, I did. And he kept being like, just breathe through it. You're doing it great. Just breathe through it. And then we got done. Literally, when he flipped me over, he's like, well, what about this? I go, there can be no more pain. It can't be painful anymore. And he made it painful again immediately. So it was awful and not relaxing whatsoever. And she's laughs says I'm exaggerating. I was not. He came out and followed me to the locker. And I was like, the whole thing hurt. And he's like, well, I was really hard. You had a lot of hard knots. And he goes, you made it through. And a lot of athletes I work on would have tapped out. Thank you for that, sir. It was awful. It was awful.
I tell them it does hurt bad when you have knots and they try to break them up.
I've had massages for years, and yes, there can be pain when they try to break up the knots. When someone's grasping the table and shifting their entire body and cursing at you, you don't keep going. I don't know what to... And then when you say afterwards, he's like, a lot of guys would have tapped out. What are we doing?
You must not communicate very well. You should have said, I tap out.
What part of there can be no more pain is not communicating well? And then he immediately goes back into causing more. I don't. Anyway.
Do you want to ask how my massage was?
How was your massage?
It was pretty good.
I know. I'm glad it was. I'm glad we didn't waste money on two massages.
There were some painful parts, but...
Yeah. I've had painful parts. This was unpleasant. And so I feel bruised around parts of my body today. I've had her check because when you just touch my back down the spine, it hurts to the touch. So anyhow, she's been laughing. I mean, she thinks I'm over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. Like, I told the front desk person, she's like, how was your massage? I was like, it was awful. It was so painful. I don't know what Mark's problem was. That was his name. But it was awful. And I didn't like it at all. I said, your facility is very nice, but the massage itself,
We did sit in the infrared sauna. That was really nice. Makes us want to buy one for our house, but all about the health.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a nice time.
So we were shopping on the plaza and...
Oh, your story.
And we go in this store that I like, and Made in Casey, I think was the name of it. It just has different stuff to look at. And it's kind of hard to find a place to go to the bathroom. And so we went in this place and it's like, oh yeah, it has a restroom you can use. And so he goes and uses it. But I'm just at the front of the store, and the guy working there, older man, was like, hey, ma'am, could you come here? I have a question for you. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, your husband looks really, really fit. What does he do? And I'm like, well, he stopped drinking for a year and a half ago.
500 days this week. I had 500 days, which is crazy.
And he walks a lot, and he works out a lot, and he eats fairly healthy. And he's like, oh God, I mean, he just looks really good. I'm like, thanks. And then he goes, well, do you think I would embarrass him if I said something to him? Like, God, no, please don't say anything to him. He just doesn't need a big head about it. Anyway, so Eric comes over there, and the guy was super
He was very nice. And
he was very nice.
Him and his wife had a lot of trauma and things like that with
grandson that had a rare disease. And of course, so then we, shared some of our struggles and the really, hyper focus on self-care just to even be able to navigate it. But it was a good weekend. I was glad
Then my massage guy after, he's like, I mean, you're just so well put together, like well balanced, your top and your bottom. I see some guys are just really big on top and nothing on the bottom, and everything's just really well proportioned. And I could tell you work hard. I just wanted to get those knots out. You didn't I don't know if you got them out, Mark.
He was trying to help you. He was trying to help you.
It was something. He was something.
You might have the best week working out because all the knots are, and you're going to be grateful. You're going to be grateful for Mark.
I love how much she makes fun of me. She's so supportive, and we love that.
I care about you. I care about you.
I think Angie did at least have a nice time with me this week.
It was good. I told Eric, well, here's one clue, is that we were sitting in the infrared sauna, and I'm like, I think I need to lay down. I'm tired, and I almost dozed off, which was very unlike me. I actually felt relaxed this weekend, which was rare. So when those moments happen, I'm extremely grateful. I slept a lot and felt like really chill. And then we came back here and doggone shit. Now I don't feel chill anymore, but
started working. So.
Yeah, but it's good that we both are hyperachievers when it comes to that.
That's right.
So
we're having
that's our update.
A lot of good convos and a lot of good stuff's been going on. So we're going to go into 2026 later this week, just looking for the year of the horse to drag us along in a positive way. So, and then we'll talk about, goals and what we both are planning for 2026 next week. So,
or not planning.
Yes, foreshadowing. So with all of that, we hope you have a wonderful week. Anything you want to pray for? Any moms? Any?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely some new mamas that are joining this hell group, basically, of moms that have lost kids, and just praying for overall health for people that are struggling. Because, gosh, if you don't have your health in an instant, things can change. So definitely praying for grieving moms and the people that are struggling with health issues. And my Uncle Kenny, because it's his first holiday without my Aunt Judy, and we all know how hard that is. Forever hard. So,
Yeah. I just pray for my friend David, who lost his mom last month and went through the first holidays without her. And so, it's really tough. As I was telling him, I'm telling my kids this week, 18 Christmases without my dad. And it's crazy to believe that, but it is one of those things that you just honor them in the different ways that you can, so that you feel like they're still a part of your Christmas, whatever that may be, birthdays that come up. And so just pray for him and everybody we're all losing people, right? We know that. We all go at different times. And so just praying for people who are hurting right now. With that, we hope that this week is a safe start to the new year. We hope that you have a wonderful week, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.